Welcome back to The Frequency of the Dark. I'm award-winning author Daniel Bautz. We've talked about the DNA of my influences, but now I kind of wanted to get into the evolution of my work. My debut, Life is in the Blood, explored the horror of a vampire building a religious cult. It was a Gothic adventure, but it was just the beginning. In the sequel, coming out very soon, The Hounds of Heaven, we're pulling back the curtain on a much larger scope. So we're not just dealing with kind of a local legends kind of feel anymore and the kind of folkloric horror. We're dealing with the source. This book has, I think, what's kind of a cool feature in it, that we deal with the first vampire, Cain. So in the lore of the Black Cathedral Covenant, Cain is the origin point. My thought was, by blending the biblical mythos with real vampire history, from the Strigoi of Eastern Europe to the forbidden text of the church, I wanted to build a lore that felt ancient, heavy, and most importantly, dangerously real. Why Cain? Well, because the best horror is not invented. It's unearthed. In The Hounds of Heaven, I wanted to kind of bridge the gap between theology and terror. And we look at the mark of Cain not just as the curse of wandering, but now as a curse of hunger. So when you look into the ancient folklore and Strigoi of the road, you begin to kind of see a pattern. That the church preferred to categorize these nightmares so they could kind of kill them in secret. They called them vermin, or werewolves, or dead highwaymen. They used these catch-all names for a truth that was far more ancient. In this book, we explore what happens when the ancient truth decides to stop hiding. Tales. The merchant's nervous laugh failed to brush away the concern. My grandfather's brother vanished on this road. They found his remains 3 days later. The wolves, they said. But the wolves don't take money or drink his blood. It is the werman, the werewolf, the merchant whispered, leaning toward the partition, or the dead highwayman. He pays no toll, he takes one. He is the stranger, the one whose path you must not cross. This is his road. It is God's road, the driver said, a little too loudly. The horses whinnied, their breathing pluming in the gathering dark. The coach jolted, the wheels sank in a deep rut, and with a pistol crack, the left axle splintered, throwing the silk merchant to the floor. The driver was already outside, slack-jawed, staring at the shattered wheel. It's broken. We're stuck. Then we run. Run where, Herr? The sound died in the driver's throat as he stared past the horses into the fog. He's already here. The silk merchant scrambled from the coach. He stared. A man stood in the road 20 yards ahead. He was not a wolf. He was not a highwayman with pistols. He was a broad figure in an archaic coat, his beard long and matted. He was perfectly still, a statue of calcified malice. His eyes, even in the gloom, seemed to glitter with a bored amusement. That bored amusement is the key. When you are the first vampire, Cain, you have seen empires rise and fall into the mud. You're not going to be a theatrical monster jumping out of the shadows. You are that statue of calcified malice. You are a reality of the dark. In the Hounds of Heaven, we explore what it means when the hunter is so ancient that he no longer needs to hunt. He simply waits for the road to bring him what he requires. If you enjoy Gothic fiction and horror and appreciate Gothic foundations, like the book Life is in the Blood, the Hounds of Heaven is where the world breaks open. We're going deeper into the Strigoi lore, the biblical origins of the blood, and the secret history the church tried to bury. You can find both books on Amazon right now. And if you want horror that respects the history it's built on, join the pack. Like, comment, and tell me, who is your favorite historical monster that the church tried to categorize? Until next time, stay off those dark roads.